Howdy guys. Got this morning in the backyard looked yellow with dandelions. So I went out and picked a bunch of them and I'm deflowering them, being the foul individual that I am. And because I'm going to be making them in a dandelion wine. A little bit of what some folks call being a prepper. Actually, this is my second take. I started making this video here a few minutes ago and had a phone call, so got a little interruption. Years ago, I've had people that sit here and they laugh at folks that are preppers and what they call preppers nowadays. I really think that's kind of a dumb phrase. I'm not a prepper. I'm not a survivalist. I'm not all the rest of that stuff. What I am is someone with enough common sense to kind of get an idea of what's coming or be prepared. I grew up as a kid. We were all in the Boy Scouts. It's back when the Boy Scouts were Boy Scouts, and my father was a scoutmaster. He taught how to walk plans for survival and all that. So I had kind of a head of the curve kind of a upbringing. But I've noticed through my life, people make fun of you and talk a lot of shit about you and stuff when you do this kind of thing. Until that shit at the fan scenario. Kind of like one of my older videos where I talked about after hurricane, no one had power and stuff like that, and we're out there cooking in the backyard with 18th century deer. Because of my lifestyle, a lot of people's lifestyles, we're already prepared for this. And it's not that we're living just crossing our fingers hoping these bad things are going to happen. No, it's because we have enough common sense to realize these bad things are going to happen. And that life happens, that things happen. So I got a bunch of them. About tore my back up. Make it a little easier. Anyways, now years ago, I think it was like 4,700 years ago, there was a feller who also was prepping and preparing because he knew that something pretty big was coming. And so he got ready, and he told people about it, and he tried to get them on board, quite literally on board. And they pretty much, scoffed at him and told him he's a wacko and everything. And then one day, it started raining. And the few that made it up to his boat found out that the doors were already shut. And he wasn't the one that shut them. It was God. They were told, left and right, what's coming and how to avoid it. But it wasn't hip, it wasn't convenient, it wasn't easy, and so they pretty much blew it off till it was too late. Now, for the past 2,000 years, Christians have been trying to tell people, get people prepared. Because after this physical body dies, you still have a soul, and that soul still has to answer for its life. That soul still has places yet to go. As whether it's going to be a place of absolute beauty and what is actually truly heaven, or someplace not quite so pleasant. I know a number of people believe in reincarnation and I'll be honest with you, that ain't nothing but wishful thinking. And in case you're curious, you're going to start talking trash. I spent 32 years as a pagan high priest, a Wiccan high priest, a witch. Not something I'm proud of. I'm very familiar with neo-paganism and with all the viewpoints of reincarnation and all that. And I can tell you right now off the bat, it's It's fantasy and hogwash. I would use more colorful metaphors, but I have cleaned up my language quite a bit over the past number of years. A lot of old habits and sins that I work on. The good Lord's given me the ability to have time to work on them. But right now, prior to this COVID-19 thing has popped up, or as one gal says, the beverage in a number situation that we're in. Prior to all this popping up, folks have tried to tell you about it. We tried to tell you that, day of reckoning's coming. And, I'm not saying that this is the end of the world, by no means. People that are screaming that this is it, the world's going to end, that's also a load of hogwash, because the Lord said, no man will know the minute or the hour or the day, no man. And that means nobody except for God will know when that's going to happen. But I will say that this is a wake-up call. And a lot of folks will say, well, this is something that was engineered by the Chinese or some college professor in Boston or Massachusetts developed it and sold it to the Chinese and all the rest of that. Okay, well, that might very well be the mechanical means in which this was developed. But in all honesty, nothing on this planet happens unless it's deemed by God. And if you want to sit there and say, well, hey, that's horrible, that's terrible. Well, that's God's love. And God's love is deep. It's not always comprehended by people. It's kind of like when you're a kid and you've messed up a bunch and continually messed up, and your mama or your daddy lets you get away with it for so long, and then, enough's enough. And if you look at the history of us over the past 100 or so years, not just the United States, but the world, there's always been war, there's always been death, destruction, there's always been a lot of stuff, but it has been getting worse and worse. And people have been getting further and further away from God. And now, as of 2016, between Brexit and Trump and all the rest of that, folks have been kind of coming back. Christians have been persecuted so badly, but now we've been kind of having to stand up. And because of that, the left has been pushing even harder. Trying to really almost outlaw us. In fact, some places they have outlawed us. Rise of Islam, the left is doing everything they can to put us down and Christians down and get Islam to step up and all the rest of that. So, anyways, but getting up now. So now, shoot at the fan scenario. And folks kind of got an idea, well, I can jump on board. Well, it's true, you have till the 11th hour, the 59th minute of the 11th hour, and God will accept you. But that's kind of but a lot of people are lazy, but it's kind of a seriously lazy way to go about it. In all honesty, the Lord will check your sincerity. You may not be thinking it's something that can be seen. He can see it. He can see it. And get people who falsely come up and say, well, I'm a Christian, or, I got baptized, I'm good. Well, it ain't your heart, it ain't good. All you did was put on a badge and get wet. You've got to get to know God. You've got to, and for those of you who say, well, my God, well, if you say, well, my God, and you come up with some buff and fluff fairy tale thing that you've come up with picking and choosing, then that is the second commandment that you've just broken. You've created a God instead of worshiping the real God. So get a Bible, read it, understand it. You ain't got to know it word for word, but read it. Read it, you get to know God, you get to know Christ. Because in all honesty, no fluff and buff off the side and everything else, that is your one most important survival tool. Is your Bible and getting to know Christ. The closer you are to Christ, the better off you are. This body, even this body, this beautiful body, this lovely beard, will die sooner more than likely than later. But I'm prepared for that. Are you? Anyways, this is the Old Corners Poacher of Kentucky, here in Kentucky, making Dandelion Wine. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.